Hi, I'm Jesse with Camp Perspective, and in this video I'm going to answer the question of, do dogs ever fail our evaluation process? For the most part, the answer is no. The only time a dog would quote-unquote fail is if we don't have the ability to correct the dog if they're exhibiting any kind of behavioral issues. So we use a platform called Ginger that tracks our daycare, boarding trains, daycare trains, like, clients can access it. And every dog has a profile, every owner has a profile, and that's where we have all our information for each of the dogs that we take into our facility. And on that profile for your dog, there's two questions, or three questions. Has your dog ever been trained before? And then there's can your dog be corrected with a prong collar? Can your dog be corrected with a e-collar? Okay, and there's three options to reply to those: yes, no, and contact me first. If it's yes, no problem. If it's no, then we know not to. If it's contact me first, we need something written from the owner via email that states, yes, you can correct my dog with these tools, okay? Specifying prong collar, e-collar, so on and so forth. So if a dog shows up for the first day and they're very barky, they're very whiny, if we don't have permission to correct those behaviors, that one dog is going to start to offset the other dogs. So I run a very structured kennel. It's a quiet kennel. We get the occasional bark, we get the occasional whine. It happens. It's just not incessant. It's not all day. It's not every time something happens. Like dogs, they're used to the structure. They're quiet. So we have 50 dogs today. It's quiet. So if one dog starts to bark because they're stressed and we don't have the ability to correct that dog then starts to stress out other dogs. And then those other stressed out dogs it's like the domino effect. So one dog starts to bark, then two dogs start to bark, and then 5 dogs start to bark. Next thing you know, we have 10, 20 plus dogs barking. So it's important that we keep that structure across the board with all the dogs. So if the dog is easygoing, they might be stressed, they might be a little anxious, a little bit of whining, maybe the occasional bark, whatever, and we go, okay, this is tolerable, until they get used to the structure, because it's just their first day. We take at least 3 days to ease them into the facility. Typically, they get better over time. Once they get, especially if they're social dogs, especially once they get treadmill done and they get to play, that tends to offset things and they get used to the environment, and then we're good. In other cases, the dogs won't. They'll just keep barking or what have you, or if they're kennel reactive or what have you. If they're constantly barking and stuff, even if the owner says no, we'll contact them and ask, like, hey, like, your dog's having a very difficult time. Can we correct your dog? If the answer is still no, then we'll just tell them, okay, well, we can't have your dog here because your dog is going to offset our quiet kennel. So more often than not, a dog owner will just say, yes, you can, address my dog's behavior, what have you, and it's perfectly fine. But really, because I train my staff and everything, a lot of the dogs that come here are trained by us or come on an e-collar, so we enforce all that training. And as long as we have the tools as well, if we get a dog that's human aggressive, obviously we need that dog to be muzzled. They need to arrive muzzled. They will be kept muzzled until we've earned trust with that dog. If that dog is going through a training program, that helps out a lot, especially if they go into a program with us. We're all on the same page. We understand everything. But I do teach my staff how to handle dogs of different behaviors, different temperaments and stuff like that, so that they're equipped to work with dogs with behavioral issues, even if I'm not here. Because sometimes I'm working with clients, sometimes I'm out training at the park, or I'm working with boarding trains. I'm just not always going to be accessible to work with these dogs. So short answer is, as long as we have the tools that we need and or the permission that is needed as well to correct and address a dog, then no, your dog cannot fail the evaluation process. I'm Jesse with Camp Perspective, and thank you for watching.